I am also a sucker for a trend. I love it. Looser incorporations of office wear. Bonus points if you can find them in like pink and yellow and in like a really like coastal way. So think like coastal preppy, exaggerated proportions. How freaking fun is that? So if you want to know how to look trendy this spring season, go ahead and keep watching. Hi, welcome to my video. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've gone on and on and on about the importance about building a closet that has longevity and a wardrobe that's true to you, transcends like the season to season trends that we see, which I stand by, and I think ultimately it's some of the most useful fashion advice that I could give. However, I am also a sucker for a trend. As much as I love like my timeless classic pieces that'll stay in my closet forever, one of the things that continue to be one of my most favorite aspects about fashion is the fact that you can experiment, that you can try out new trends and learn things about yourself. And that is why today I'm bringing you guys a video all about trends and how to look trendy during the spring season. All of these trends are coming from one of the most powerful voices in the entire fashion industry, and that would be Vogue. So I'll link down below the article that inspired this whole video. So if you want to know how to look trendy this spring season, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so first spring fashion trend on the list is going to be feminine colors and textures. If you do keep tabs on fashion, you've noticed that there's been a resurgence in like boho chic look with brands like Isabel Marant just gaining a ton of popularity. So one of the ways to capture this trend as like a person with a normal closet is through just like a very classic feminine springtime dress. Like everybody has one in their closet. They're super easy to find this time of year. Bonus points if you can find them in like pink and yellow. Those are some of the biggest colors we're gonna see not only in the spring but throughout the rest of the year. And to play around with this like super feminine look up top, I've paired it with these like chocolate brown riding boots. This is not entirely practical for where I live because Houston is so painfully hot. So during the springtime season, I will not be wearing these because I will have a stroke. I personally love this trend because my closet really does lean very feminine. So if you're in the same boat, perfect time, girl. Perfect time to whip out all your springtime dresses. But if you're looking to find some new springtime pieces because you don't already have this in your wardrobe, to stay extra trendy, keep an eye out for frills and lace and layers with a lot of movement, some sheerness, and then sticking in this really classically feminine pastel palette. So there you go. That's look number one. Okay, so one of the next biggest trends for springtime is going to be outerwear, and that's such a general term, but I'll add a layer to that and say like seasonally appropriate outerwear, because like I said, I live in a hot and humid climate, so the chances of me being able to wear a jacket anytime after this week are gonna be pretty slim. But I think the key here is outerwear with short sleeves. So for example, I've paired the very feminine, girly, beautiful dress that I had on before with this really cool like 3/4 sleeve blazer. Has some bow actions here on the sleeve, and it's just perfect blazer for places that are really hot. With this look specifically, I think it's eating. Like this is gorgeous. And then if you throw on like a nice little pop of color, how freaking fun is that? Let me show you guys one more combo. So we'll take this off. This is one of my favorite jackets. It's from Calvin Klein. It's their classic fit tech jacket, I believe. And it is so light. It's basically a little napkin. I'm not gonna lie, like during the winter, this is not very practical because there's like little to no warmth offered by this, but for the springtime, girl, it's perfect. Okay, maybe some Manolos. Wait. I think let me cook, one sec. Wait, okay. Look at this. So on the top, I'm really liking how like utility-esque the vibe is, and it juxtaposes with like the feminine little dress underneath. And then on the bottom, I have these like seafoam green, I don't know if you guys can see. I have these seafoam green Manolos on, and I just really am vibing with what this looks like. Come here. So I think one more key takeaway from this is, of course, along with seasonally appropriate layers, right, is keeping them in this really light color palette along with like your base, because it just makes the look a little bit more fresh and less stuffy with like all the layers going on. So There we go. All right, next trend on the list is just preppy. Preppy is making a comeback, and in like a really like coastal way. So think like coastal preppy, which are typical things that we see every warm season. Think how like last year coastal granddaughter was like really, really big. We're seeing it come back again this season. And one of the simplest ways to capture this trend is to quite literally dress like you're going on vacation on the East Coast. So think linens, cottons, pinstripe, and most importantly, navy. Now, I still don't have a ton of navy in my closet, but that color screams preppy coastal to me. And so what I've done is I've paired this super breezy pinstripe dress, stunning, with this blue little polo bag. And honestly, nothing seems preppier to me than Polo, the brand itself. And on the very bottom, I have my trusty little mesh flats that I featured in my March favorites video. And I'm loving this look. I think it's super, super recreatable and very, very comfortable because I'm wearing pretty much just a little handkerchief of a dress. So one of the ways that I would play around with this look is by adding a little layer. Keeping it in the polo family, I have this little short sleeve sweater, and I think that just adds another interesting little pop of color to the look. And I would probably do it with sneakers. One sec. And there we go. I think that really helps play down the look a bit, keep it a little bit like fun and more casual for day to day. Another huge trend for the spring is going to be checkered, which I wasn't aware of. I mean, I've always really loved checkered and like gingham and plaid, so it's something I always have in my closet. I think what they're calling it is like English patterns, because I know that we typically think of plaid and stuff for the fall time, but for the springtime, I think for me, one of the easiest ways to incorporate this into my closet is through gingham specifically. It's super easy to find this print around this time of year. I have this cutesy little gingham dress that I bought, I think 2 summers ago now. How I would play around with this is with a little bit more color. So give me 1 second. I think I would layer this like long oversized cotton shirt on top. And then for shoes, I think I would keep it a little bit more funky and then try these platform sandals. I love it. Let me give you guys a closer look. Oh, I love it. I really, really love how this looks. It's really playing off of the last trend with like coastal preppy. So I love it. I think it screams springtime and really, really easy to recreate, I think. So that's this look. All right, second to last trend, I think, I forgot what number we're on, is going to be vintage print. So think like 70s geometric or even like 80s floral or like 90s paisley. For my example, I have this really funky top that kind of looks like a grandmother's couch from the 80s. So this is the closest I have to a funky print or like a vintage print. This one for me, I think the key way to recreate it is going to be to go to the thrift store. And that's something that Vogue mentioned in their article. Thrifting is definitely a way to go because this is kind of playing on like the maximalism kind of trends that we saw last year. And it is bleeding into this year through very funky prints. And for the rest of my outfit, I kept it really, really simple. Just some straight jeans and my mesh flats, of course. There you go. I made a mistake. This is my second to last trend. Okay, next trend on the list is going to be exaggerated proportions. So let me give you guys a closer look. I have on top this oversized blazer from DKNY that I also featured on my March favorites, along with these jeans that made a little cameo in that video as well. These are definitely my most wide leg jeans, so that's why I went ahead and put these two together for this trend. The silhouette for this look is like very, very baggy, oversized, and then to keep it a little bit more spring, I layered this tiny little knit top underneath and just some classic heels. Honestly, I am low-key obsessed with the way that this looks. I think I'm gonna recreate this entire getup in a couple weeks for a concert that I'm going to. Not that the world needs another bitch in the blazer, but why is this looks so good? I love this trend. I love because baggy looks for me are definitely a staple in my closet with, you know, oversized blazers, oversized shirts, and then super wide leg jeans. Perfect, easy to do, love it. All right, so last trend on my list is going to be goodbye office siren. Basically what this trend is indicating is that we're moving away from like the sexy, like tight corporate wear that people are wearing kind of like more casually. And now what's in for the spring season is like bigger, looser incorporations of office wear into daily casual looks. And so for me, it kind of just looks like I don't have pants on, but I've layered this very, very oversized white button up with another oversized blazer. On the bottom you can't tell, but I have a white little skirt, and then I've paired it again with my mesh flat. Telling you guys, I'm obsessed with my mesh flats. But anyways, I feel like my hair is making this look very 80s, but honestly that wouldn't be too far off because some of the inspiration that this is coming from is like the more like bigger, like angular, exaggerated power suits that we used to see in the 80s. If you do go to the office, one of the simplest ways to capture this trend is to get yourself like a nice shoulder pad oversized blazer or matching pantsuit. If you're just a normal girly that doesn't go to the office, then again, maybe a blazer is the way to go, along with just like elevated, oversized, like office wear type items of clothing. All right guys, those are all the trends that I had to show you guys for today's video. Make sure to comment down below which one is your favorite, which one you're gonna recreate, and if you do recreate them, please tag me. I'd love to see. Make sure to subscribe so that you never miss my new uploads. I upload videos every single Saturday morning, and that's it. Bye.